things have gotten quite messy on the bench, but that's because we're putting the hot side together. I have gone through and permanently mounted the adapter on here. Take that off. Off he comes, nice tight. There we go. So she doesn't move far, but she moves enough. Can we see in there? Maybe. Kind of, not really. Anyway, I've got the manifold. Manifold definitely needs a plane. I put it on the bench, and yeah, that flange has seen better days. So we'll put it on the belt sander. I've just cleaned up the fitting on the oil drain, and just cleaned up the mating surface there as well, so I'm just letting that dry off before tightening those up. I have clocked the center housing correct for low mount, so I got the oil feed coming up nice and straight. Also clocked the front housing as well. Traditional is more like, for factory it's more closer to here, but we're going to poke it further away because silicone coupler, don't really want it melting. I don't think I'm going to go ahead and spend the money to put a 2.5 inch 90 on there. I don't think it's like a solid 90 on it. I don't think it's really needed at this stage. We'll just go what is it? I think it's a 2 inch to 2.5 inch 90, and we'll just grab 3 of them in case. This is the other thing. So we are going, internal wastegate. So I've, don't look at those bits there. Got the mount on there for the wastegate, and now this is kind of the last piece in the puzzle, is mounting that on there. Now I actually have a selection, just make myself some space. I have a selection of internal gates. Don't mind the kink on that. That was when I was trying to fit it on lunch money. Now pretty sure this is a little T25 jobby. The mounts and everything, and it was going to be too short, I believe, so even sort of popping it there, yeah, it could have worked, but it may have required a bit more finagling, and I wasn't 100% on. I'm pretty sure that's quite a low, like a 7 psi spring. This is very cheap. And yeah, I'm not a hundy on this. This, however, is a lovely second-hand adjustable HKS internal gate. It has definitely seen better days. So my decision now is, what do I go with? Which one of these two? Leaning towards used Japanese parts as opposed to new AliExpress parts. So you stay there. I know I've still got the nuts and everything on it. Should just spin it around, so I guess there. Yeah, that'll work. But we've got a gap. So I need to sleeve this and have something up the other side. So I've got a bunch of these things. That, however, is not the right diameter, but I could use that stud, but to be honest, I'd rather keep that and just grab an M6 bolt. I've got this, which is threaded. Just do not know how far it's threaded. I think we can almost kind of see in there that it's not threaded all the way. So that is an option as well. I've got a couple of other tail pieces here too. But so yeah, connect those two up and tighten the drain up. I've got the oil feed here as well. So oil feed on there, just nice and easy, Yeah. Come on, it's hard to do with one hand, but it's doable. I think it is anyway. That's the idea. Oil drain will come straight out there, loop around and go into the block. That is a -8 However, I've got an adapter coming, so that's a 1/8 MPT. I've got an adapter coming to go 1/8 MPT into M12 by 1.25, which is what the fitting is on the block. Anyway, also I was planning on using this, but realized that I believe I need these lines connected in order for this to actually work, because otherwise oil can't get back. Oil will go through the filter and not be able to get back. So that's getting scrapped. Instead, I am going to use, where is it? Oh, it's in here. I'll use one of these. So for the oil temp and oil pressure, I'll use this on the other side of the engine, if that's in front of the engine. So this is where the oil pressure factory sensor is, and we'll chuck the oil temp and oil pressure in there. Anyway, let's get this wastegate dialed, and we are one step closer. And big fail. I don't have, well, I guess I have got a bit that I can cut off one of the older, where'd it go? I think I can sort of chop there, and then it gives me an M6 sleeve. This one here, again, is only like threaded a little bit of the way. So, looks like I'm going to have to go get some threaded rod and an M6 sleeve. I thought I had some M6 rod, but where is it? Yeah, mate. So, going to have to figure it out. I think it was in there. I thought I had some like perfect size stuff, like about that long, that I could just chuck in there, and but no, didn't have it. So that's probably gonna have to put a pause on this. I have bought fresh studs for this, just using the old ones. There's actually only one good one left on there. I've got fresh studs for the block as well. What else? I think I've actually got a, did I get a V-band? I got a V-band clamp. Did I get the V-band itself? No, just the clamp. So I don't have the clamp. Oh, sorry, I don't have the actual V-band fitting, but I've got the clamp. I've got two clamps there. We've got to figure out what we're going to do there. Yeah, there's nothing. That's just another clamp. Cool. That's the other spare turbo. Anywho, it's looking pretty cool. Yeah, so that clears as well. It'll just go over the top. I suppose I should probably also dig out all the intercooler piping too, making sure I've got all the bits and pieces in order. What I don't have, I think that's probably what, about a 3-inch, 2 3/4. Hang on, doing this all one-handed. Hold the phone caller. What do we got? What do we got? There we go. And it is sitting at 77 mil ish. Yeah, something like that. 77 mil, which I think, yeah, that sits about 3 inches as well. So, burp, burp. And then airflow meter, because we're old school. Anyway,
the next day.
good morning. Now, why would I be doing this first thing? Reason is I have had an absolute mare over the last couple of days. And getting the studs out of this manifold has been an absolute challenge. I'm trying to keep it PG-13. What has happened with this, and with the 4 studs, one didn't actually have a stud in it, great. Another one came out no problem. this one here, sorry, and then another one was getting stuck. And what actually happened with that, I'm pretty sure I just threw it out because in absolute disgust. The threads there completely stripped off the stud, but also mangled up the threads on the flange. However, M10 by 1.5 tap, and she's all good. This thing has been an absolute trooper. We've run that through on that one there because we didn't know what was going to go on with that. But it works. We can thread a stud in. So we've got 3 good ones. Now this one here, with that third one, I thought I was exceptionally lucky that it just didn't pull the threads out of the flange, and then I was like, oh, helicoil, blah, blah, blah. So this one started going the same way, and I made the big mistake of thinking, well, hang on, wouldn't it be easier just to cut the stud, drill through, collapse it, and pull it out? It's an exhaust stud. It's really tough. I think I've been through 2 Christmas tree drill bits, snap the ends off them, 3 or 4 drill bits getting through. That Ryobi drill has been an absolute champ, been absolutely wailing on it. I am now at the point where I've drilled an M4 hole through. It took me about an hour, and then it's been another half an hour of just stepping that size up slowly by slowly. And I think we're at about a 6 mil hole, maybe a 5.5 at this stage. So my intention now is just to heat the ever-loving bejesus out of it. Just let it sit there and do its thing for 20 minutes and just get it red hot, piping hot, and then either decide on trying to collapse it from there or drill it out further, and hopefully that would actually, make it metal softer. I don't know. It just makes sense in my head. So I'm going to leave that sitting there ticking away. And I have this and these. I'm going to get the turbo out and finish the wastegate line, the wastegate rod. So whilst that sits the way, keeping me warm on this rather brisk spring morning. We are 2nd of September, so it's pretty brisk start of spring. But yeah, we'll keep an eye on this. Yeah. Sometimes like the jobs that you don't think are going to be that big of a deal end up being a deal. And that's always what sideswipes you with these kind of things. And you see it so often. Anyway, let's keep going. Is where it lies. Anyhows, yeah, I know that kind of routing of the hose is a bit crazy, but the intention is that this puppy ain't going to do everything. We'll probably put a bleed valve in this anyway, so that's just to plug it off for now. Yay, that's on there nice and tight. I've just got to find a C-clip to go on that. That's kind of the last piece, but that is not going anywhere. I can't foresee that being an issue. Yeah. This guy is carrying on going, doing his job. Oop, come back here. Those are going to be handy in the future. So, quick little tidy up now. Well, we can essentially put a pin in this. All these jam nuts and everything are all done up nice and tight. We do have some thread engagement still to go, but plenty of thread engagement in both of these, so it won't be an issue with pulling out the threads. Temptation is to get the compressor and just test this, but anyway, I had to pull this to get on, so it does have positive pressure holding it shut for now, so I can't imagine we're going to have an issue with this creeping open. It's going to be probably the other way around. We want it to kind of bleed off a little bit, so we might end up actually well, no, we do want it to be able to hit to spool, but the issue after that is going to be getting exhaust gases out. So we could probably see this thing spiking because the old wastegate setup isn't ideal, and the rear is only a 2.5 as opposed to a 3 on a 0.63 housing. So should have good flow through the manifold into here, but the restriction is probably going to be here, which will then pass back through and into it. That's the thoughts, but again, we're dealing with some pretty old tech here, so we're just sort of making do. We've done what we can. Right, let's finish tightening this up and move on to the next job. All of this just so we actually have 4 empty holes. Now, I've run the tap through this and it's just savable. I have just absolutely blown apart my gloves getting this done, but success. The secret, so what actually happened in the end, I managed to get, like, I think it was about a 5mm hole, maybe 5.5, sacrificed another couple of drill bits, but I then had to sacrifice an M6 tap, and with those carbide burrs, they just ate into it, which was so much better than just the drill bits just going through and catching and snapping. Even low speed, high speed, doesn't matter what. And yeah, in the end, just running that in, I was so close to trying to be able to figure out what's a way just I can go through this and just absolutely smash it to pieces. But I didn't have to. Just working back and forth patiently with that. Getting the hole through was one thing, but then because it's such hardened steel, it was not giving up. I think that's probably close to 4 hours getting that one stud out. Well, no, 4 hours I'd say in total getting all of the studs out, all 3 actually, because one was already out. So yeah, not a job I want to repeat again. Next time I am just giving up and taking it to somewhere that has carbide drill bits and a drill press. Not doing that ever again. And obviously I'm a sweaty, greasy mess right now. I need to clean all this up and just, I don't know, sage this area or something. Just, I want to completely not even think about that ever again. I need to put on my list to buy some decent drill bits as well. I did get a drill bit sharpener, but it's the wrong size for the grinder. Anyway, thanks. See you later. Bye.